Well, good afternoon. We're looking at chapter 10 in 2 Samuel as we continue our commentary today. The title of chapter 10, David's Messengers Abused by Hanun. And it came to pass after this that the king of the children of Ammon died, and Hanun his son reigned in his stead. Then David said, I will show kindness unto Hanun the son of Nahash, as his father showed kindness unto me. And David sent to comfort him by the hand of his servants for his father. And the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanun their lord, Thinkest thou that David does honour thy father, that he has sent comforters unto thee? Has David rather sent his servants unto thee to search out the city, and to spy it out, and to overthrow it? Now, this is the same sort of situation that happened in the Garden of Eden, when the serpent said, Did God really say that you cannot eat this tree? Here we have the princes putting doubt into the mind of their king, causing him to think evil of a genuinely good deed. Therefore, the king makes the wrong decision. Wherefore Hanun took David's servants and shaved off half of their beards, and cut away their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. He cut off their robes so that their backsides were showing. That's probably the uttermost insult for an ambassador of a nation. Can you imagine what would happen if somebody went to the United States to see the president and they decided to cut off his trousers and send him out of there with his backside showing? Needless to say, when they told it to David, he sent to meet them, because these men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards have grown back, and then you can return. Sometimes after this, the Ammonite king died, and his son Hanun reigned in his stead. I'm going to show special respect for him, David said, because his father, Nahash, was always so loyal and kind to me. So David sent ambassadors to express regrets to Hanun after his father's death. But Hanun's officers told him, These men are not here to honour your father. David has sent them here to spy out the city before attacking it. So Hanun listened to the doubt placed into his mind by his own officers and made a terrible mistake. Hanun took David's men and shaved off half of their beards. It was an insult to any Jew. And cut off their robes as their buttocks and sent them off half naked home with their backsides exposed. When David heard what had happened, he told them to remain in Jericho until their beards grew out, for the men were very embarrassed over their appearance. Verse 6, And when the children of Ammon saw that they stank before David, the children of Ammon sent and hired the Syrians of Rehoboth and Syrians of Zobah, 20,000 footmen, and the king of Makkah 1,000 men, and of Ishtob 12,000 men. When David heard of it, he sent Joab his general and all of the host of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array at the entrance of the gates. And the Syrians of Zobah and Rehob and Ishtob and Makkah were by themselves in the field. When Joab saw that the front of the battle was against him before and behind, he chose of all of the choice of the men of Israel and put them in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the army he delivered into the hand of Abishai, his brother, that he might put them in array against the children of Ammon. Remember, they're at the gates protecting the city. And then we have a conditional promise that Joab makes to his brother. And he said, If the Syrians be too strong for me, then you shall come and help me. But if the children of Ammon are too strong for you, then I will come and help you. Be of good courage, and let us play the men for our people and for the cities of our God, and the Lord do what seems good to him. And Joab drew nigh, and the people that were with him, unto the battle against the Syrians, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they also before Abishai, and entered back into the city. So Joab returned from the children of Ammon, and came back to Jerusalem. Now the people of Ammon realized how seriously they had angered David. So instead of apologizing and admitting their mistake, they hired 20,000 Syrian mercenaries from the land of Rehob and Zobah, 1,000 from the king of Makkah, and 10,000 from the land of Tob. Now, I'm saying 10,000 here because the New Living Translation says 10,000, although King James Version says 12,000. When David heard about this, he sent General Joab and the entire Israeli army to attack them. The Ammonites defended the gates of their city, while the Syrian mercenaries from Zobah, Rehob, Tob, and Makkah fought in the fields. Now when Joab realized that he would have to fight on two fronts, he selected the best fighters in his army and placed them under his own personal command, and took them out to fight the Syrians in the field. He left the rest of the army to his brother Abishai, who were to attack the gates of the city. If I need assistance against the Syrians, come out and help me, Joab instructed him. And if the Ammonites are too strong for you, I will come and help you. Courage! We must act today like mighty men, if we are going to save our people and the cities of our God. May the Lord's will be done. And when Joab and his troops attacked, the Syrians began to run away. Then when the Ammonites saw the Syrians running, they ran too, and retreated back into the city. Afterwards, Joab and his army returned to Jerusalem. And when the Syrians saw that they were smitten before Israel, they gathered themselves together again. And Hazazadeh sent and brought out the Syrians that were from beyond the river, and they came to Hilam. Shobash, the captain of the host of Hadazarah, went before them. And when it was told David, he gathered all of Israel together and passed over the Jordan River and came to Hilam. And the Syrians set themselves in array against David and fought with him. And the Syrians fled again before Israel. And David slew the men of 700 chariots of the Syrians and 40,000 horsemen, and smote Shobach, the captain of their host, who died there on the field. And when all of the kings that were servants of Adad saw that they were submitted before Israel, they made peace with Israel and served them. So the Syrians feared to help the children of Ammon anymore. So the Syrians now realized that they were no match for Israel. Back then they realized it, but not now. Sadly, history shall repeat itself sooner or later, and again Syria shall be defeated by Israel. So the Syrians regrouped and were joined by additional Syrian troops, summoned by Hadassah from the other side of the Euphrates River. These troops arrived at Hilam under the command of Shobash, the commander-in-chief of all of Hadassah's forces. When David heard what was happening, he personally led the Israeli army to Hilam, where the Syrians attacked him. But again, the Syrians have fled from the Israelis, but this time leaving 700 charioteers dead on the field. Also 40,000 cavalrymen, including General Shobash. When Hadassah's allies saw that the Syrians had been defeated, they surrendered to David and became his servants. And the Syrians were afraid to help the Ammonites anymore after that. They were well and truly walloped. And it's sad that they have not got the wisdom today. They keep trying to attack Israel, and each time they get walloped. Sooner or later, they will either be completely defeated or wiped out, because that's God's plan for them.